She lived a life of tragedy and still embraced life. She is, I can see from this vantage point, in every one of the books I have written, and I know now I am not the hero of my life. She is. All these years later, her tragedies still make me weep, and the book cries out, "Behold how she was wronged." Mario Puzo, November 1996. Part 1. 1. Larry Angeluzzi spurred his jet-black horse proudly through a canyon formed by two great walls of tenements, and at the foot of each wall, marooned on their separate blue slate sidewalks, little children stopped their games to watch him with silent admiration. He swung his red lantern in a great arc. Sparks flew from the iron hoofs of his horse as they rang on railroad tracks, set flush in the stones of 10th Avenue, and slowly following horse, rider, and lantern came the long freight train, inching its way north from St. John's Park Terminal on Hudson Street. In 1928, the New York Central Railroad used the streets of the city to shuttle trains north and south, sending scouts on horseback to warn traffic. In a few more years this would end, an overhead pass built. But Larry Angeluzzi, not knowing he was the last of the dummy boys, that he would soon be a tiny scrap of urban history, rode as straight and arrogantly as any Western cowboy. His spurs were white, heavy sneakers, his sombrero a peaked cap studded with union buttons. His dungarees were fastened at the ankle with shiny plated bicycle clips. He cantered through the hot summer night, his desert a city of stone. Women gossiped on wooden boxes, men puffed cigars of the De Nobili while standing on street corners. Children risked their lives in dangerous play, leaving their blue slate islands to climb on the moving freight train. All moved in the smoky yellow light of lampposts and the naked white-hot bulbs of candy store windows. At every intersection, a fresh breeze from 12th Avenue, concrete bank of the Hudson River, refreshed horse and rider, cooled the hot black engine that gave warning hoots behind them. At 27th Street, the wall on Larry Angeluzzi's right fell away for a whole block. In the cleared space was Chelsea Park, placed with dark squatting shapes, kids sitting on the ground to watch the free outdoor movies shown by Hudson Guild Settlement House. On the distant giant white screen, Larry Angeluzzi saw a monstrous horse and rider, bathed in false sunlight, thundering down upon him, felt his own horse rise in alarm as its tossing head caught sight of those great ghosts. And then they were past the intersection of 28th Street, and the wall had sprung up again. Larry was nearly home. There was the pedestrian bridge that spanned 10th Avenue on 30th Street. When he had passed beneath that bridge, he would be home, his work done. He set his cap at a jauntier angle, rode straight in the saddle. All the people sitting on the sidewalk from 30th to 31st Streets were relatives and friends. Larry made his horse gallop. He passed swiftly beneath the bridge, waved to the children leaning on its rails above his head. He made his horse rear up for the people on the sidewalk on his right, then turned the animal left into the open railroad yards that formed a great spark-filled plain of steel down to the Hudson River. Behind him, the huge black engine chugged white clouds of steam, and as if by magic, the bridge and its children vanished, leaving behind them thin, beautiful screams of delight rising to the pale, almost invisible stars. The freight train curved into the yards. The bridge reappeared, and scores of damp children hurtled down the stairways to run along the avenue. Larry tied his horse to the hitching post by the switchman's shanty and sat on the bench against the shanty wall. On the other side of the avenue, painted on a flat screen, the familiar world he loved came alive inch by inch. The brightly lit bakery was near the corner of 30th Street, its festooned lemon ice stand surrounded by children. The panettiere himself filled the white-ridged paper cups with cherry red, pale yellow, and glittering white crystals of ice. He scooped generous portions, for he was rich, and even went to racetracks to squander his money. Next to the bakery, towards 31st Street, was the grocery, its windows filled with yellow logs of provolone in shiny waxy skins and prosciutto hams, meaty triangles hanging in gaily colored paper. Then there was the barber shop, closed for business but open for card-playing, the jealous barber even now alert for any freshly cut heads that did not bear the mark of his scissors. Children covered the pavement, busy as ants. Women, almost invisible in black, made little dark mounds before each tenement door.